Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. Today we are going to be looking at the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow, and I'll be looking at this. This is a bit of a weekly recap of what's happened this last week and what's likely to happen moving forward. Sort of a bit of a plan of attack for you guys. And what's going on right now. So that's what I want to share with you today. I will also be looking at the other indices such as the Russell 2000, 3000, also the transportation average, to see what's really going on right now in these markets and what we can all expect, right? Because the fact that, or the bottom line is, guys, is that I don't know exactly what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to exactly happen. No one does, right? The only thing we can do is to get a really good gauge on what's going on right now is really read the charts, right? Because if we see the fundamental out there, right, the fundamental of what's going on right there, we can't trade that, right? We can't trade that. We can't trade the fundamental because trading the markets, excuse me, trading the markets, okay? Trading the markets is all about active, right? So when you trade, you're getting in, you're getting out quite quickly, right? You might be in and out within a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few minutes, okay? So when you're trading, don't use fundamentals, because if you're in and out in one day or you're in and out in a few days, why use fundamentals for that? Fundamentals are like, okay, this company has a really, really, really good balance sheet. They're doing well, the earnings per ratio, all that sort of stuff. Okay, this stock's now trading at $300. It should be at $900. There's that gap variance. Okay, I'm going to invest in this stock, and even if it does pull back against me, I know over the next 1 to 2 years, we're probably likely to head up towards that $900 unless something changes with the fundamentals. Makes sense? So it's so important, guys, that when you're trading these markets, it's so important that when you're trading the markets that you don't incorporate the both. If you're trading the markets for an income, just focus on the charts, have a good system, have a good win-loss ratio. Some will win, most will make a profit, some will make a loss, and rinse, recycle, repeat. Okay, it's really, really, really damn simple. Please don't mix the both. If you're saying, oh my goodness, the economy is really bad, and all this sort of stuff, but then you suddenly trade the markets and the next day you're freaking out because it went against you completely. See how there's incongruency there? If you want to trade the macro, then have macro positions and so on and so forth. So anyway, that's a little bit of a spill for you guys. It's one of the biggest things that I see most people making in the world today right now. They look at the fundamentals like, oh my goodness, this is so bad. We've got so much bad news, so much bad news out right now in the markets. And things are not looking good right now, and so therefore the stock market could continue. Guys, I've learned that the hard way so many times, and I even had to learn that again when it came to the whole Donald Trump election phase. I thought, and what everyone else thought, was the market was going to crash when Donald Trump was elected, But then what happened? We went through a big boom. But if regardless of why it boomed or regardless of why something happened, the market, i.e. the charts, is always giving us some clue of what's likely to happen moving forward. And that's all about based on probability. And this is the hardest thing about traders, okay? The hardest thing about traders when trading these markets is they can't come to grips that things are based on probability and not certainty. So anyway, there's my little rant for you guys. So please protect yourself and don't mix the both. If you're going to trade, have a nice pattern. The pattern has a probability, has a good win-loss ratio. Take that pattern. You're going to have most are going to make a profit. Some are going to make a loss. Rinse, recycle, repeat, make money. Where you go wrong is you don't stick to one pattern or one setup. Then you start to incorporate all this other crap into it, and it's all over. Excuse me. So, and guys, I'm not speaking at you, I'm speaking with you because I've learned through so much. Guys, there was times there where like when the whole Donald Trump election was happening, right? Guess what? I had like a $400,000 short position in the markets. Now, luckily for me, as the market started to break up, I wasn't ego. I said something's not right here, so I got out, and I still lost quite a bit of money there, but I didn't lose the 400. But the fact of the matter is I learned a big lesson from there was that the only thing that really does matter is these markets, the charts, and the collective wisdom of the markets is what's going to happen there. And guys, I didn't make the rules. I just play by the rules, okay? You can fight me all day long. Fight, ego, fight, go, fight. Ego, yeehaw. Okay? Why this is that, this is manipulated, this is that, I can't believe it, this is the Fed market, this is manipulated market, this is this, da. But guess what? You can either do two things. One, you can sit there and keep complaining about it, or two, you can just go with it then. Like, go with it. Understand why things are happening. Okay? So let's get straight into what's happening right now in the stock market right now. Okay, so firstly, what we're seeing here is we're seeing that we're in a very, 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 very tight range here on the S&P500. Very tight range here. Now, the really interesting thing is that we're still holding up a little. We're still holding up really. We're still, this last sort of couple of days we've gone through here. Now, the interesting thing about the S&P 500, you can see how we've gone sideways through here. Now, it's sort of like a do or die situation. Let me bring this up through to here. Actually, let me bring this one up through to here, because this is the one that I want to share with you. This is interesting here. On the S&P 500, we're in a bit of a do or die situation. To me, we're gaining a lot of strength where we are right now. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it did see a pop and a move to the upside. Two reasons why I'm saying that. One, because things are starting to get better in the markets, right? So an overall direction, and things are starting to open up and all that sort of stuff, okay? But also, secondly, most people are bearish. Like, every time I see a YouTube video, it's like bearish, short. Which that's all I've heard, right? So that makes me want to go long, okay? And so, and that whole analogy, right? When most people are fearful, you want to be greedy, and most people are greedy, you want to be fearful. So as we can see here, right? So if we start to get a nice break above this this is the 52 moving average. We get a nice break above there, then we're going to have a nice run pretty much straight to that 3,100 level. And if we do that, then we've got this gap up here. Once we do, if we do that, we do break this among the 3,100, we're probably likely to head our way back up to 3,300 as well too, and close that gap. It's right close there. I still do believe by the end of this year, this gap is going to be filled either way. Even if we did get a drop, if we get a drop, a little small pullback, rally. Get a pop to the upside, rally. Rally. Same for the Dow Jones, right? Look at this Dow Jones here. Same sort of thing. Right, look at all this sideways phase through here. Now, guys, this is actually a bullish scenario. Now, what would we need for confirmation, right? This is called this is called an energy building phase, okay? Look at this here. So we had a nice move up from here. Look at all this sideways phase. Not much going on. If we get a little pop to the upside, guess what? We're about to go for a nice run, because we've been going, what's this here? How long has this been for? Almost actually over 2 weeks, right? Yeah, so about, I'm just counting my mind, 15 days there. Okay, so that's about 3 weeks there. Huh, interesting. Is that 3 weeks? Maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I can't count right now. Right? But 2 to 3 weeks, guys, this is an energy building phase. Now, I'm not saying it's definitely going to pop to the upside, but the longer we hold here, the more it's likely to pop to the upside, and this be another nice move to the upside. So get ready for that, guys. Again, guys, please listen to me, okay, guys? One of the biggest mistakes that I've made across the markets is me trying to say, well, that can't happen or this can't happen. Guys, anything can happen. And we can either fight it, bitch, moan, whatever, or we can say, you know what? Okay, this is what the market's telling us. If I want to make some money, I've got to go with that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter why it moves in that direction. It's just moving in that direction. It's likely to keep moving in that direction. So therefore, we can make a decision based on that. Okay, guys. So please don't fight it. You know, if you know this is a Fed market, then why didn't you start buying a month ago when I was buying a month ago down here? As you guys, for you guys that are following me, right, this one through here, actually SPY, I bring up the SPY right here is when I started going long the markets. Right, this one right here. Now, why did I start to go long the markets here? In quite a big fashion. Why? Because what? because everything was really bad. And then guess what happened throughout this week here? They started 0% interest rates, printing a lot of money. If you knew this was a Fed market, and if you know this market's manipulated, if you want to call it that, then why didn't you start buying long down here then, instead of freaking out like everyone else is doing and start to short the market? You see how there's two different sides to this market. People saying, oh my goodness, this market's going to crash because it's so bad. If you did short it, please take your losses and learn your lessons. But if you didn't do anything, then please have a look about, okay, cool, right? And so I'm actually still long right now. And so let's continue on here. Now this is the Dow Jones through here, as we can see. If I bring up this chart through here, you can see exactly what's going on right now. Little sideways movement. We're likely to get another nice move to the upside. I've always had a 27,000 target for the Dow Jones. I've always had a 3,000 target for the S&P, but looking at the recent support and resistance, what the market's doing, then if we break this, we're probably likely to run the 3,100. So if we start to have a nice move to the upside, guys, following this week, guess what? It's on like Donkey Kong. It really is. And the Nasdaq, look at the Nasdaq. Isn't this Nasdaq just strong? Now, it's strong, but we're getting this moving average 22, which is giving me a bit of a, I'm not too quite sure. Right? We're having a very sort of strong trend in the moving average trending down. So that's really weird to see that. So anyway, I'd really like to see this moving average start to flatten out and start to pick back up again. But we're starting to see a very flattening out through here, as you can see. And if I bring up this chart through to here, actually there's a lot of lines are in there. I don't need all this. Let me go, you know what? I'm going to erase all. I don't need all those lines. If I go from here to here, as you can see, look at that. Look at that nice upward trending, right? Nice little higher low, pushing up. Right, and now we're at this resistance level where we are right now through here. Okay, so we have this resistance level where we are right now. You see how it's having a lot of problems. The next resistance is actually, short-term resistance is up through there. But I ultimately see the Nasdaq coming. Got a gap here on the Nasdaq, and it's almost there, right? So I see Nasdaq really starting to gallop up a lot more, and I see Nasdaq starting to see a lot more upside through there. So really, if I bring up, yeah, look at this here. Look at this V bounce recovery. Yeah, so I see that happening through there. So, but guys, as I said before, right? Like I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but here's the thing. If we start to break back below and we start to get, say, below this level through here, this would be the level for me. If we start to get back below this low level through here on the Nasdaq, then we're probably likely to see a bit of a drop. If we start to see a drop, if we start to see a breaking below this sort of support level in the S&P, drop. If we see this breaking below this on the Dow Jones, guess what? Drop is coming. I say drop is coming, but drop, short-term drop, rally. Pop, rally, okay? And we'll also look at the transportation average. Now, the transports are a much more harder thing because we really haven't been doing much here. Not much at all. We've got this resistance level coming through here. We've got a potential sort of support level through here, a potential sort of not really much going on. We really haven't had any really, we've got this higher low through here. The transports are a lot weaker than a lot of other indices. But with that being said, I can see how this major resistance level through here is holding. So again, I wouldn't be too surprised to actually see this market start to rally up again. We've got a gap up here, major gap up here that I do believe is likely to be filled. It may take some time. Like this, see this gap back here? Look at this gap back here, right? There's a small little gap back here, and it took how long for it to fill it? It took about 6 months for it to come down and fill it, and then the market started, falling out of the bed there. And a quick look at the Russell 3000, pretty much the same thing. Russell 3000 and Russell 2000, pretty much same sort of things as the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and that's what we see there. So guys, please don't fight the markets. If you want to trade the markets, then we have to, if you want to be a part of this world called trading, guys, then you have to, you have to apply the rules as a trader, and you can either fight, cranky, this, that, all this sort of stuff, and whatever, or you can say, you know what, if we know what's likely to happen, if we know what the government's likely to do, then maybe we can make a decision based on that. AKA, when they drop interest rates to zero and they start to print trillions of dollars in the economy, maybe, just maybe, we're about to find a bottom in the markets. I wonder if that's going to happen. I don't know. It sounds pretty sensible to me, right? Because when they raise the interest rates and they start to taper off their quantitative easing, and we start to form a top. But you know what? When the market drops down, when they drop interest rates to zero, and then they announce that they're going to start to put trillions of dollars into the economy, I wonder what's going to happen over the next month or two. We're probably likely to find a bottom there somewhere. Once the printing does happen and it starts to go into the system and they start to buy up a lot of things they want to buy up. I wonder, I wonder if that's going to cause a bottom in the markets. Let me see. You know what I mean, guys? It's like it was so glaringly obvious that this market was going to find a bottom really, really shortly, especially when most people are fearful. The government dropped interest rates to zero. They started printing a lot of money to find a bit of a flaw in the market. It was almost a certain that we're going to get a 50 to 60% retracement, and that's exactly what we've done, right? We've actually got let me bring up the Fibonacci level from the high down to the low. You can see how we've actually got a 50% retracement here. It was just pretty much almost a certain. Now, I didn't know exactly when the bottom was going to be, but I knew it was coming soon, and I think we have a lot more upside to come from that there. So there we go, guys. Keep an eye on it for moving forward into this week here, because it's going to be an amazing week for you guys. Please be patient. Don't be jumping all over this. Get your emotions out of it. It's just trading. The market doesn't give a damn about you. So be patient and play by the rules. Don't fight the market. Play with the market. See what the market's telling you, and then have a bit of a go with that. Traders, I am running a free training, and on this free training, I'm going to walk you through my #1 trading system for the last 15 years. If you're wondering, what is my trading system? How do I actually trade the markets? What sort of setups do I look for? Then this is for you. See, on this, I'm going to walk you through all the details, but I'm going to walk you through the 3 secrets. The secret #1 is I'm going to walk you through the one thing that took me from $250,000 in debt and almost went bankrupt to actually shifting to actually making money from the markets. I'm going to talk about that one thing. Secret #2, I'm going to walk you through all the steps and all the details to my trading system. I'm not going to hold anything back. You're going to learn all the details to this, so you too, when you leave, you'll be able to see exactly how I trade the markets and what sort of setups I look for, so you can start to apply it today as well too. And secret #3, I'm going to show you exactly how and how I trade the markets for only 1 hour per day as well too. So I'm going to walk you through everything through. So if you're struggling with your trading right now, you need to see this. If you're looking for a really high probability trading system that gets like over 90% success rate, then this is for you as well too. And if you're looking for a way to be able to have freedom in your life, but also condense that down with a really good trading system, then secret #3, you're going to love that as well too. So I'm running that free training today. So go to johnsfreetraining.com right now, and I'll see you there.